everybody.
Hey.
Rob and Peg from Rainy Day People. We're back in South Dakota. It's May 6th. We had to cut our trip down south and out east. We had to cut it a little short because, as you can see, maybe Peggy's wearing a sling. We're still not quite sure what the problem is. She's got a doctor appointment coming up.
Yeah.
But we came back a little early because of that.
It's hard getting in and out of the van when your arm can't work very well.
Yeah. Remember the van tour I showed you why most people our age don't do what we do in a minivan.
Yeah.
Traveling in it, sleeping in it. Yeah, because we crawl in and out, and it's a little painful for Peggy right now.
Yep.
So we're back home, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we thought we'd come out to the Arboretum here in town.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Arboretum. It's, I don't know, a little over 100 acres or so. And it's got some nice water features and a lot of native grass and trees and flowers. But the subject for today's video is, since we have spent, we've gone on 3 trips out west of 3, 4, 5 months in length. And we just completed our trip to the east. And
Sun's in my eyes, I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay.
And we thought we'd do a little comparison. How would we compare nomading, living in a van, living in a vehicle, the way we do, compare the east to the west. And it's kind of difficult in a way. They're so different.
So different, yeah.
But we came up with 5 different categories that we thought we'd compare them. And first one we thought would be the weather. The west is dry and kind of windy, pretty windy a lot of times out west. The east is rainy and humid.
Yeah.
And I would have to give the nod to the west personally. Yeah.
Well, I grew up in the west, so I like it.
Yeah. I don't like humid weather anymore. But some people love it. But for us, we'd have to give the nod as far as weather to the west. And another thing, the east, I think, has a lot more, what's the word? Violent weather. You know, thunderstorms, tornadoes. Now, the west has fires and mudslides, but we haven't spent much time in California, so
no,
as far as mudslides go, that hasn't affected us. Another thing that goes along with the weather, with the damp, humid weather in the east, there's a lot more bugs too.
Oh, yeah.
There are some flying insects, bugs out west, but I think those are mostly flies, and they can be vicious in their own way. But again, I think that's another negative unless you're into bugs.
Yeah, it seems to be with the humidity, you seem to get more bugs with the humidity.
Yeah. The second category I came up with is history, things to see, things to visit as far as history goes. The West, you know, there's a lot of Western history, but I think the East it's just incredible. You can't hardly go anywhere out east and run into Civil War sites. We went to uh,
Valley Forge.
Valley Forge. There's, I mean, the East is so much older as far as being settled.
Yeah.
There's a lot more out there to see. A lot more museums.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the country started.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but even before that, and there's more. But then there's Gettysburg. Went to Gettysburg.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a lot more to see. And I just saw this in a video or somewhere. If you draw a line, we live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you draw a line between Sioux Falls and down through roughly Austin, Texas, if you draw a straight line through the United States, 80% of the population of the United States lives east of that line.
I believe it.
So it's just a lot more happening.
You add the California to that part, and that's almost everybody in the country then.
Just about, probably 90%. But there's a lot of great things to see in the West too. But I would have to give the nod for if you're a history buff and you want to go see historical sites and things, I think the East would win that one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, the third category we came up with to compare the East and the West with for nomading, the nomading lifestyle, is crowds. And I think I kind of just covered that in the last one under history when I should have talked about the most of the 80% of the population of the United States is in the eastern half of the country.
Yeah.
But boy, it's busy out east.
Yeah.
It's busy. Not as nearly as much open country, although there's a lot.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were down in Florida and Pennsylvania. We were in lots of different places.
Georgia, lots of
North Carolina, South Carolina, the Virginias. And, you know, everybody thinks of the East as kind of like one big city, you know, but there's a lot of open ground, but it's definitely busier.
Yeah. It's not real nomad friendly.
No, we're going to talk about that.
Sorry. Okay.
But as far as traffic, highways, tremendously, so much more busier. I'd have to give the West. I mean, the West, you can go to California. Oh, yeah. Again, that's
super busy.
That's a whole new, its own category, probably, just like the East, kind of. Although even California has a lot of open spaces and beauty too. So, but I would have to give the West. I'd have to consider them the winner as far as if you want peace and solitude. It's harder to find in the East.
Yeah, it is.
I'd rather walk with a friend in the dark than alone in the light.
Nice. Okay, our next category we came up with is natural beauty. Now, that's a tough one.
That's tough, yeah.
That is really tough. In fact, I think it's a toss-up. The West and the East, again, are so different. It's dry, rocky, mountainous, a lot of different kind of mountains out west.
Yeah.
There's the Appalachians in the east. But the east is lush and green, and for the most part, and so I mean, some people will have a preference, maybe. Some people love the desert and don't like, the Midwest Eastern greenness and everything that comes with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a toss up. This was our first real trip to a lot of places in
Yeah.
the East.
Yeah. We'd been to.
Florida.
Yeah, we'd never been to Florida.
Florida was
Yeah, it sure
gorgeous.
was.
And
I always had the impression that Florida was, for all old people, and you lived in this little by the ocean area, and it was, you know, sand and humidity and
beaches.
and towns. I had that idea, but it was a completely different experience.
Yeah. So, yeah, the East is gorgeous. The mountains, the Appalachian Mountains are gorgeous.
I love Georgia. And the I don't know if I don't know if a lot of it is the flora, or maybe it's the architecture and the history that goes around along with that. And it's just I wanted to go back. We got off the road, and I wanted to go back and find more beautiful yard or acres with horses and white fences and these beautiful trees and magnolias. Great.
All the beautiful green grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were down there in February, March, part of April, and it was beautiful. A lot of the trees weren't done yet, but a lot of, flowering or getting leaves, but a lot of them were already coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's a toss-up.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, we've got one more category.
Okay, do you need my notes?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, I remember this one.
Alrighty.
Last category is East versus West, United States, as far as nomading. The West has millions of acres of land that you can camp on for free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easy to find. And we told you we just got back from the eastern half of the United States. And now we weren't everywhere, so maybe there's a little more free camping in the east than we know of. But where we were, except for Florida, we found it pretty difficult to find free camping.
Yeah.
There's a lot of campgrounds, but Florida was amazing.
Yeah.
Florida, a lot of the places you have to reserve them online, but after you do that, it's free.
Yeah.
They're water management district areas. They have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of camping areas.
Yeah, and they are free, and if there's a gate, you get the combination of the gate, and you can stay there up to 14 days.
Yeah. So we were pleasantly surprised with Florida. I knew that the water management district campsites were down there, but I don't know. I guess they were nicer and a lot more of them than I thought.
Yeah.
So
yes, they were different. Like there was I can't remember right offhand, but there were so many different places and next to rivers or
streams.
Lakes. Yeah,
we
beautiful.
saw an airboats and yeah. So I think free camping, being a nomad, living in your vehicle, it's a lot easier out west.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to stay in Florida, you could do it. I think year round it would be awfully hot, just like Arizona in the summer
Right.
is.
I wouldn't stay in Florida during the summer.
Yeah, just like you probably wouldn't stay in the deserts of Arizona in the summer either. Maybe
Right.
some people do. Some people have a higher heat tolerance than others, and so yeah, that's our little critique. What do you think? Have you guys dispersed camp, boondocked in the east and the west? What's been your results? How did you find it? Did we miss something in the east? And so overall, we'd have to say the west is by far the easiest uh, half of the country to boondock,
Yeah.
disperse camp in.
Pull off somewhere, find a place, you know.
Yeah. So, but let us know your thoughts if you've had a different experience. Yeah. So that's it. Want to try and keep these videos kind of short.
Yeah, so I have to edit a lot of stuff out.
You saw our daughter and our grandson in some of the earlier clips. We're out here to go hiking, and it's a beautiful evening in southeast South Dakota. Anything else you want to say, Peg?
If the women don't find you handsome, they'll at least find you handy.
Nancy.
We'll just take that one out.
All right. We love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Take
See ya.
care. Bye.